Good day, cadets. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about paperwork. Paperwork's an important part of the Army. The Army runs on paperwork, so we're going to enroll you here shortly, and that's going to take some paperwork. When we get ready to potentially contract you or offer you a scholarship, there's going to be paperwork, and then when you commission, if you make it through the program and become an Army officer, more paperwork. And when you go to your first job, and on and on and on. The Army has a lot of paperwork. So what we're going to do today, talk a little bit about how we're going to find our paperwork, how we're going to fill out and save our paperwork, and hopefully it's going to make it easy for you to provide the documents we need to take the different steps we need. So first thing we'll do is talk a little bit about how we're going to manipulate our paperwork. So the Army uses PDFs. So Adobe Reader is what I'm going to ask you to make sure you have installed on your computer, Adobe Reader. You don't need Adobe Pro. It may seem like you do, but you don't need Acrobat Pro. You just need Adobe Reader. Adobe.com, download the Acrobat Reader. I recommend you uncheck all your boxes whenever you're installing software. Download Acrobat Reader, install it, and you should be good to go for any of the documents I'm going to ask you for while you're enrolling as a cadet. So let's talk about where we're going to find our paperwork. So you got Adobe Reader installed on your computer. Now you're going to download the forms you're going to need. So goldenknightbattalion.com, always the best place to find the forms. If you're looking for them elsewhere, there's a good chance that you got the wrong form. Typically, I get every year when I ask for the 104R, the academic plan, I get some that are back from the 80s that are still floating around on the computer, so on the internet. So make sure you got the forms, and this is the most current place to find the forms that I'm going to ask you for. So goldenknightbattalion.com, click on the new cadet tab, and then you come down here to enrollment paperwork, click on that. And here's a list of the forms you're going to need to enroll as just a basic enrolled cadet. Eventually, if you're going to contract, if you're going to receive a scholarship, I'm going to ask you for some additional contracting forms. But for now, all you have to do is fill out these enrollment forms to allow us to get you enrolled in the system. So first thing you might run into, one problem you may run into, is you click on the form and you get something that looks like, oh, actually the form just opened up for me, so that's good. If the form doesn't open up for you and it gives you a please wait screen, then you're going to have to download the form to your computer. In fact, I recommend all these forms, you download them to your computer versus filling them out in the browser. So right click, save target as, and then you want to save it to your desktop or save it to a file on your computer. And make sure it's got a good name there that you know where you're saving it to. But save it to your computer. That way, when you fill it in, you save the form. You have it in case I have to come back and say, hey, you didn't fill this out right. Redo it. You can just pull the form right up and change what needs to be changed. You're going to see a couple of these forms. There's a lot of information on them, so you want to try to save them. We're going to cancel out of that, but save the form. So let's talk quickly about what forms I'm going to be asking you for just to enroll. The 136R. The 136R basically is going to explain to you that if we hurt you, we're going to fix you. You'll be eligible for workman's comp if you're injured while you're training as a cadet. And I guess before I get too deep into this, make sure you read all the forms. Here's this website's designed to briefly explain the form to you, but open the form up and read through it. Make sure you know what you're signing and what you're putting your information in on. So 136R, if we break you, we'll fix you. The 137R, that form is going to allow us to request your transcripts and see your grades. So you're going to fill that out if you're from one of our partner schools, SUNY Canton, SUNY Potsdam, St. Lawrence, or Paul Smith. You're going to do 2 of these because your grades are going to be maintained at 2 different schools. So you're going to fill one of these out for each of the schools, and then eventually we're going to be requesting your transcripts. The 139R is the one that's got most of the information on, the one that you need to be most careful about filling out, and the one that I'm going to look over and make sure all the information is correct before we go final on it. So we'll take a look. We'll take a look here in a second. This one again, the 2005. Basically releasing your medical records. So eventually, if you're going to get contracted, you need to be medically qualified. We're going to send you to see a doctor. We're going to need to see your medical records, make sure you're qualified. So that's basically a medical release form. The gym class form, the 3425, what I call the gym class form. You're going to take that to your doctor. Your doctor's going to just sign it and verify that you are healthy enough to participate in ROTC training. And essentially, ROTC training is the same as a gym class. So that form is going to be your doc saying I'm healthy enough to do PT and participate in ROTC. 2 other documents I'm going to need from you are a copy, doesn't have to be certified, but a copy of your birth certificate and a copy of your Social Security card. Which brings me to the point of a lot of these documents have your personal information on them. So make sure you're not just attaching them to a regular old email and sending them to me. That your bank stuff, your Social Security number should not be something that you routinely email to somebody over a Gmail account. Make sure I'm going to make sure that I ask you to send these documents securely. So whether we're going to use file drop, whether you're going to print them out and hand them to me, we want to make sure we're protecting the information on these documents. So just keep that in mind. But I will need a copy of your birth certificate and a copy of your Social Security card. Let's go back up here and talk a little bit about the 139R. So the 139R has a lot of information on it. You're going to fill out the first 2 pages and go no further. So first 2 pages is what you're going to fill out. And as you can see, there's a lot of information on here. Anything you don't know what it means, ask. POB, place of birth, next of kin, who we should call if you fall off the rappel tower. You know, some of the stuff is on the website, the FICE codes. And if you don't know, how many credits towards your degree you have or how many credits are required for your degree, you can ask or leave it blank. So those are the forms that I'm going to ask you for. That's the format I'm going to ask you for is a PDF. Hopefully a PDF you've typed information into, not handwritten PDF, and then either saved or signed and scanned, printed out, signed and scanned. Is how we're going to do it. So again, if you have questions, you know where to find me, and we'll get your paperwork from you here shortly.